Good evening, everyone. It's 18:30, so welcome to this East Staffordshire Borough Council meeting of Cabinet on Monday the 24th of March. I'll move straight on. No, let me remind everyone first may I remind everyone that present that the meeting is being broadcast live via YouTube, and the recording will be archived for future viewing. So could all council members and officers ensure that when they wish to speak, they switch on their microphones, and when they're finished, please speak them off. This is important because the cameras will follow the microphones. Thank you. I'll move to the agenda. First item, any apologies for absence?
Thank you, Chairman. All members of the Cabinet are present. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Item 2, anyone present, declarations of interest to declare? None showing, thank you. Item 3 is to approve as a correct record the public minutes of the meeting held on the 24th of February 2025. I will move that. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Fletcher. All those in favour, please show. That's unanimous. Thank you. Item 4, I'm not aware of any items of urgent business. That's correct. So move on to item 5, which is the forward plan. Chief Executive.
Thank you, Leader. The forward plan from the 1st of April through to the 31st of July this year. Happy to take any questions on the forward plan.
Thank you, Chief Executive. Any questions from Cabinet members on the forward plan? So can I suggest we note that then? Yeah? Okay, thank you. Item 6 is the scrutiny review of suicide rates in East Staffordshire. And I'm going to ask Officer Michael Hovers to present this for us, please. Mike.
Thank you, Chair. As you can see, there's the report is into the suicide rates within East Staffordshire. I'm not going to go through the report in any detail, but just draw members' attention to the recommendations towards the end of the report. There are 4 recommendations. So the first recommendation is internally working with HR and the Accenture software platform, promote the 5 ways to mental well-being with staff and utilise the council's media channels to externally raise awareness amongst our local communities. The second one is for MPFT. They're invited to a full health scrutiny committee to present details of their services within East Staffordshire. The third bullet point is for Cabinet to give consideration to increasing LGBTQIA+ representation amongst the support initiatives run for ESBC staff. And the final consideration there is the council via Cabinet support the promotion of Mental Health Awareness Week in 2025, which runs from May the 12th to May the 18th. Chair.
Thank you, Mike. In the absence of the chair, you'll really remember that the chair, Councillor Hadley, has presented this to a meeting of the pre-cabinet. I think, unfortunately, he's detained at work. So thanks for that, Mike. Can I make a suggestion on one of those recommendations? It's the 3rd recommendation, where it's asking Cabinet give consideration to increasing LGBT, etc. Can I suggest that that actually should be the Chief Executive give consideration, as he is the head of pay service after all, and it's probably not for us to be doing that. So with that minor change, I'll move those recommendations. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Fletcher. All those in favour to accept those? That's unanimous. Thank you, Mike. I'll now move on to item 7, which is the local development scheme. And I've got Head of Development, Chief Planner here, Naomi Perry. If you please go ahead, Naomi.
Thanks, Chair.
A local development scheme, or LDS, is a formal document setting out a timescale for preparing a local plan or other development plan document. The local plan was adopted in 2015 and no LDS has been published since that time. MHCLG wrote to all councils in December requesting that an LDS be prepared and published within 12 weeks. The timetable proposed at Appendix 1 identifies local plan pre-commencement starting in 2026, moving through the current legislation and regulations to adoption in 2028. However, since the preparation of this report, the government have announced further announcements on plan making and reconfirmed that legislation will be published later this year, which will alter plan making regulations. Therefore, it is expected that a revised timetable will be prepared later this year once these regulations are finalised, and a revised timetable will again come before Cabinet for a decision. The key changes expected are a shortening of the timescales to 30 months, the introduction of gateway checks throughout the process, and local plan examinations taking 6 months. There was a previous proposal to identify 10 front-runner authorities and then group other authorities into waves where they would be given a 6-month window to commence a local plan. However, the intention is now to provide tailored support to authorities that bring forward a plan early in the new system and develop a more detailed proposals for a phased rollout in spring this year. However, in the meantime, in order to meet the requirements of the request from MHCLG, the recommendation at this stage is to adopt the proposed LDS as set out in Appendix 2, with a second recommendation that the current local plan annual assessment take place prior to October, once all the expected planning changes are published. Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. Any questions or comments from Cabinet members? No? I'm happy to move those recommendations. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Louise Walker. All those in favour, please show. Again, that's unanimous. Thank you, Naomi. If you'd like to leave, you're free to do. Yeah. Now move on to item 8, which is the Tourism Strategic Delivery Framework Progress. I've got Nathan Gallagher here to present it, please. Nathan, please.
Thank you, Leader. The Strategic Delivery Framework for Tourism, originally adopted in 2023, sets out the Council's approach to tourism, creating places where people are proud to live, work and spend time, building the visitor economy from the inside out. In order to achieve the vision, the Strategic Delivery Framework contains a number of practical action plans spread across four key delivery areas, including marketing and PR, partnerships and support, product development, and tourism sustainability. Contained in section 5 of the report is a comprehensive list of the most significant achievements from these action plans, but just a few of these highlights include: a specific visitor economy marketing plan has been produced to give a planned and coordinated approach to promoting the borough as a destination. This marketing plan has seen the council deliver numerous visitor campaigns at key times of the year, as well as participating in a wide range of national and regional visitor economy campaigns. A product to develop a distinctive and forward-thinking place brand to celebrate, champion and promote Burton-upon-Trent and its rich heritage and culture has commenced. This has included a comprehensive consultation carried out with stakeholders, and the findings from this consultation are now being used by the council's appointed creative agency, who will oversee the development of a visual identity and written narrative. Details of this are available in Appendix 1 of the report. The council has supported a number of operators across the borough to submit entries to regional and national awards, and this has led to record numbers of East Staffordshire attractions being shortlisted at the County Tourism Awards in 23 and 24. The council has also supported a wide range of businesses and organisations to access the Tourism Development Grant Fund. This fund has now supported 6 successful applications, including the delivery of new events and the completion of infrastructure improvements. A programme of training workshops has been delivered to visitor economy businesses, helping them grow, adapt and thrive in a competitive market. And the council has continued to work to develop and support an increased range of town centre events and activities, such as the Burton Barrel Roll, Sonic Boom Festival, numerous food and drink festivals, the Statutes Fair and Christmas light switch-ons, attracting thousands of people to town centres. The council has continued to drive the music placemaking project in Burton-upon-Trent from initial meetings of like-minded residents, which went on to become the Burton Music Collective. The project has gone on to become the Sonic Boom Festival, attracting thousands of visitors to the town to celebrate and reimagine the town's rich heritage for original live music. This project was also successful in receiving support from Arts Council England and has more recently been nominated for a prestigious Local Government Chronicle Award. The council has also supported a range of visitor economy organisations to achieve the Staffordshire Environmental Quality Mark, which focuses on eco-friendly practices and reducing carbon footprints. In summary, as you'll see from section 5.5 of the report, the East Staffordshire visitor economy has recovered well from the downturn in 2020, with visitor spending making a significant contribution of £236 million to the local economy, and the number of people visiting East Staffordshire has risen to 2.9 million. Sector employment has also increased with an 8% rise. The visitor economy now supports nearly 2,500 positions across the borough. These figures and performance of the East Staffordshire visitor economy fares well to other boroughs and districts across the county with a greater than average growth. Given the strong recovery of the East Staffordshire visitor economy and the positive progress which has been made in delivering the strategic delivery framework, the marketing and tourism team will continue to approach the visitor economy using the same underpinning strategic direction, refreshing the delivery pillars for 25 and 26. And the recommendations are noted in section 12 of the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Any comments, questions from Cabinet members? Okay, I'm conscious that you've seen this report before. The recommendations are at 12. I'm happy to move them. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Paul Walker. All those in favour, please show. Again, that's unanimous. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Nathan. I'll now move on to item 9, which is the Q3 revenue and capital outturn 24-25. Daniel, please.
Thank you. The report provides an update on the projected year-end forecast for both revenue and capital and an outturn on treasury management activity and the strategic risks facing the authority as at Q3 of the 2024-25 financial year. In terms of the revenue position, the projected budget variance for 2024-25 as at the end of Q3 is an overspend of 62k against the £16.79 million net budget. The table at section 5.1 of the report provides an overview of the forecast by portfolio with a detailed breakdown of variances provided within Appendix 1. Although areas of revenue overspend are in the main mitigated by underspends across other council services, further actions to address the remaining pressure should continue to be identified and implemented where possible. In terms of the capital programme for 2024-25, following carry forwards from 2023-24, other approved amendments and reprofiling of budget into future years, the overall programme now totals 14.08 million, with a forecast outturn against that of 10.23 million. This represents a 32k underspend and a further 3.87 million reprofiling of spend into the 2025-26 financial year. The update on treasury management activity shows investments as at the 31st of December 2024 stood at 63.15 million, with investment returns from the start of the financial year having averaged 4.88%, with a forecast of 657k overachievement of budgeted income. Given that position, the report does include a recommendation seeking Cabinet approval to transfer 500k of this overachieved income to support the capital programme earmark reserve, to help manage the potential risks associated with capital project costs. The updated strategic risk section has been populated utilising the revised strategic risk register format approved by Cabinet in December of 2024, and the full details of those risks are included at Appendix E. 4 of those strategic risks are already at their target risk score. However, the remaining 13 of the 17 strategic risks require further work to reduce scores down to their target levels, with actions in support of those set out in the update. Progress against these targets will be monitored in future quarters in line with the timescales of actions included for each risk. The recommendations to Cabinet are set out in section 15 of the report.
Thank you, Daniel. Comprehensive report, as always. Any questions, comments from Cabinet members? No? Okay. I'm happy to move the recommendations at 15. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Chowdhury. All those in favour, please show. Again, that's unanimous. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Daniel. I'll now move on to what is the last item in the public part of this meeting. Is the Quarter 3 Performance Report 2024-25, Corporate Plan, Leisure Contract and Towns Fund. I think Declan's going to be presenting that. Please, Declan.
Thank you, Leader. This is the Quarter 3 Performance Report, looking at the Council's progress towards achieving its corporate priorities between October and December of 2024, along with the latest updates on the Leisure Contract and the Towns Fund programme. I'll begin with the Corporate Plan. Each target has been graded using the red, amber, green ratings, depending on the progress of each individual indicator. So looking at the 91 live targets, this equates to 90.63% green, 2.08% amber and 7.29% red. The Council's got back on track in Quarter 3 and remains strong across the Towns Fund and the Leisure Contract. The tables on pages 7 and 8 of the covering report show further detail of how these percentages break down across the corporate priorities as well as the individual Cabinet portfolios. The red and amber targets are detailed in the tables you can see on pages 9 through 12 of the report, and Appendix 1 includes a detailed overview of all of the indicators in the corporate plan, including comments to provide further context around the situation of each of those indicators. The report then moves on to provide information on the performance of the Leisure Contract, which you will find in section 6 of the covering report, which remains positive with 77 green, 1 amber and 0 red indicators. And section 7 of the report summarises the progress for the Towns Fund programme, detailing the 3 partner projects which are currently on track or completed with a positive RAG rating for delivery, spend and risk. So that's the overview. I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Declan. Any questions, comments from Cabinet members? I believe I'm just going to seek advice, but it's for Cabinet to consider this. If we have no comments to make, I think we're just noting it, are we? Do we have to, yeah? Just to note that we've considered it. We're happy with that. Okay. Thank you, Cabinet members. So that is the end of the public part of our meeting. So I need to read to you that in accordance with section 100A(4) of the Local Government Act 1972, that the press and public be excluded from the remainder of the meeting as it is likely, in view of the nature of the business to be transacted or the nature of the proceedings, that there would be disclosed exempt information as defined in Part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Act. I'll move that. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Fletcher. All those in favour of moving into the private section? That's unanimous.